So yeah, more recently, HBO had picked up another series called Masters of Horror, which had a number of people from who've done movies and so forth collaborate on this. They had John Carpenter do a truly amazing segment called Cigarettes Burns, where somebody's trying to look for this one lost, forgotten film. And the film is, which supposedly drove an audience insane, and then they end up murdering and killing each other. Sort of a la at the Mouth of Madness. John Carpenter's 1995 sort of box office flop, but it was an incredible movie. It had a real Lovecraftian vibe to it. As you all should know, H.P. Lovecraft was pretty much the god of horror. That's neither here nor there. It was followed up by Fear Itself, which was a tamed version of the show, which ran on NBC for a while. And the first 13 episodes, the first season's currently available. I saw it at Walmart today. Not a great show, not too many good episodes. Skin and Bones was pretty cool. It dealt with the whole Wendigo mythology, which is pretty cool mythology. And the second episode about the ghosts, it's also pretty okay, but it was very predictable. It had the woman who played the wife from Titus, a short-lived sitcom, went maybe 2 seasons. Let's see. Then, of course, for your more comical stuff, you had the Monsters and Addams Family. Both really cool shows. I can't remember which one ripped off which, but the Addams Family was originally a comic that ran in the New Yorker or something. I don't think most of the characters were named back then. But I mean, I don't really know, because I'm far too young to have been around in the 40s and 50s to have been there for when they originally came out. Out of the two, I think I preferred the Monsters. I mean, the Addams Family had the cooler characters, but I mean, it didn't have as much variety and stuff. They'd basically just introduce a new character to the family and just show how strange they are, which, although it was kind of cool, didn't really do it for me. The Addams Family movies were okay. First one was better than the second. Let's see. For vampire shows, you had Buffy the Vampire Hunter, obviously, which was big. Angel, which was a spin-off. Wasn't as good, but both of them were really lighthearted. Forever Knight, which I liked. The guy who played Lacroix in Forever Knight went on to play Prince in the sci-fi series Lex, which is a pretty good show. I was kind of out there. I didn't really pick up a fan base, so it sort of died out, but I mean, the guy who plays him is an awesome actor. I can't remember what the name is. The whole series, Forever Knight, took place in Canada or Seattle or one of those areas. I forget which. Let's see. The Dark Shadows was a sort of like a soap opera involving the horrific. I mean, kind of like a more horror-oriented thing than the current soap opera Passions, which once dealt with witches and genies and stuff, and dolls come to life, but I hear that's veered off. I saw I saw a few episodes, actually, back when it was running. I'd set my VCR in the afternoon, and then I'd catch a few of those, because it was kind of funny back when they were doing a lot of supernatural stuff, but I don't know, I don't really follow soap operas, obviously, so both that and Dark Shadows never really appealed to me on a major end. Let's see. Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. Great show. A lot of the episodes didn't deal specifically with horror and the spooky, but enough did. They had a few episodes just devoted to evil, including a carnival ride, and the kicker was 5 segments per episode, and then 6 segment, which reveals which ones were true, which ones were false, and you're expected to guess. It was a great old show. Jonathan Frakes hosted it for 5 of the seasons, and then they had somebody else for either season 1 or season 6, I can't remember which. Then there was Night Visions, I believe it was called Night Visions, which had 2 segments per episode. I mean, it's pretty spooky. It was a half-decent show, but it got canceled in a few seasons. One of the coolest episodes, I believe, is called The Window, where these troops like suddenly notice this one window, or maybe it's the mirror, just appear in like the desert, and they can like see into this other sort of idyllic world where there's like this farm and there's this family and stuff, and the military's trying to figure out what to do with it. It was an awesome episode. It's sort of a throwback to an older story I read as a kid, which actually I'll probably talk about the stories at another point, but let's see. Actually, just looked that one up. It was actually Nightmares and Dreamscapes. My bad. I should probably look these things up before I start talking about them. But then, of course, you have all the Tree Houses of Horror, which mostly are decent. They're the Simpsons special Halloween episodes. My favorite one is I Know What You Diddly Did, in which they're driving back and they're talking like this one irrelevant story where I guess they got this one cereal back from some vampires and stuff, and they're just like driving through the fog. And Homer's like saying, "Can't get enough of that cookie stuff." And so like, Homer, you better slow down just in case. And then all of a sudden they just like hit something, and like when they get out of the car, it's like Ned Flanders in a rain suit. So they like decide that they've got to somehow fake his death, so they'll be absolved of difficulty. So they're walking around with him, and then they're trying to like get somebody to witness him like die. And then finally, I mean, it's just a hilarious segment. I actually have the Werewolf Flanders a la Burger King in terms of Flanders memorabilia. But let's see. Yeah, that's actually probably all the big ones. I'm missing a few here and there. I know a lot of people claim that Alfred Hitchcock Presents was horror, but most of the episodes really had nothing to do with horror. It was just straight up suspense. And then there was One Step Beyond, which ran a few years before the Twilight Zone, which was supposedly all true stories, most of which dealt with ghosts and supernatural, but I mean, all of them really looked and felt the same, so it wasn't all that great. I picked up a huge pack at Walmart at one point just because I guess at some point they lost their trademark restrictions because the thing had lapsed. So they're selling a set of 32 or 46 episodes for $5. I picked it up. It was a decent price.